So this is a story of how God brought Nicholas into our family. So, we had 3 kids. We had Sam and Abby and Anna. And when Sam was 5 years old, Sam decided that he wanted a little brother. And Melissa told him that he should, if he wanted a little brother, that he should pray about it because Daddy was done having kids. So, through the course of time, Sam, during his nightly prayers, every single night, would say that he would ask God for a baby brother, or he'd say, I want a baby, and I want it to be a boy. And he said that every night for 5 years. And I was done, so I was like, knock yourself out, kid, because I'm done having kids. So he continued to pray, and I had never really given it even much of a thought. So then one Christmas-ish time, it was November, December-ish, our friends Donnie and Jill Baumgartner invited us to go to a Stephen Curtis Chapman Christmas concert. We're like, sure, great. We went to that, and as part of the show, they did a little thing on adoption. And as I was sitting there listening to it, it was like God spoke to me so clearly. And I was sitting there, I just felt like I had been smacked over the head with a 2x4. And I was like, almost to the point of weeping. And I'm sitting here because Melissa's sitting next to me, and I don't want her to see this. And I'm just like, took everything in me to keep it together. And that night marked a start for me. And through the course of the next year, God was relentless with me about needing to adopt. And so I fought it and prayed about it and just finally got to the point where I could take it no more. I was just kind of torn up inside. So one night after the kids had gone to bed, I sat Melissa down in the family room and I said, honey, we need to talk about something. So this wasn't the wisest way to go about doing things with your wife. And so I'm sitting across the room from her. I'm in tears, crying, and telling her that I need to talk about something that's going to be a change for our life. And she is just, her mind is just racing as to what I could have done or what was about to come out of my mouth. And it took me a little bit to get it out, but once I got it out, I was like, we need to adopt. And she was like, is that all? She thought that was nothing. So she was on board. She had always wanted more kids, and this was just right up her alley. So we started the process with Nicholas and just the adoption process. And so we talked to some different people, got some different feedback, ended up going with this agency, New Horizons, and go through the whole process of getting approved to make sure you're not some crazy person. And so we went through all that. That's like a 6-month process of how you get qualified or whatever. And then because we were going with domestic adoption, you just wait. The birth mom picks you, and so you just wait. And they said you could wait for 2 months, you could wait for 10 years and not get picked by a birth mom. So we waited, and it was hard. You know, you you never know when that phone call is going to come. And so, a good year down the road, I start seeing, it was God speaking through me, but I would look, and every time I saw the number 9/11, it was just jumping out at me. Every time I'd look to see what time it was, I would frequently to the point where it was kind of weirding me out, going, why am I always seeing 9/11? And so after about 2 months of this, I finally said something to Melissa. I said, I don't know what's going on, but 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, it's just jumping out at me all the time. And so she said, well, we'll just pray about it and see. So, another 2 months or so went by, and we've been praying about it, and then it finally dawned on me. It was like the heavens opened. Melissa's shaking her head at me. But this is what I thought. I was like, yes. I thought that God wanted me to buy a Porsche 911. I thought, this is it. And Melissa right away said, no, I don't think that's it. I'm like, okay. So we continued to pray about it. And we prayed about it. And
Didn't we get engaged in a 9/11?
What?
Didn't we get engaged in a 9/11?
We got engaged in a Porsche 911. Yes, we did. So then, September 11th was approaching. It had been about 6 months of this, me constantly seeing it. And me and Sam were going to be out of town and stuff, and we're like kind of nervous. What's going to happen? Why has this been so... It felt like God's hand was so in it that September 11th was going to be something for us. And so it came and it went, and we were like, I don't know what that was. I really thought it was God, but I guess I was thinking things up or something. And so, you get kind of hard on yourself about stuff like that. And so another week and a half passed after September 11th, and then we got a phone call. And
We're at Sam's football game.
you were at Sam's football game?
We were all at Sam's football game.
No, I was at work. You called me at work.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. It was...
You were at co-op.
No, the first phone call we were at Sam's football game, and they asked us if we wanted to be part of a profile for a birth mom for a baby that had been born over the weekend.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I believe you. I kind of remember it, but...
He was Native American. We didn't have him on our profile.
Oh.
So they needed to get an extra okay from us because birth mom wanted to name him, and he had to be enrolled in the tribe.
So he needed to be enrolled in the tribe, and she wanted to name him. So
those were special.
We agreed to those things, but it was
asked,
something like that had never happened before, but it was still after September 11th.
Right. And we asked how long it would take, or I did. I asked how long it would take, and the social worker said just a couple of days. So, then it was a week later after that.
And
I had totally...
We had totally let it go.
Yeah, we prayed and said this little boy must have gone to someone else,
and had let it go. And so then we were just waiting, and then the phone call came on a Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You were at co-op, and I was at work, and it was that we had been picked by a birth mom, and she had a little boy, and the miracle of it all was he was born on September 11th, which was, for us, total confirmation that this had been God's plan all along, that this was the one for us. And so we got to go see him. But then it was, it had already been 2 weeks since he was born, and it was going to be another 5 weeks before we would get to bring him home. But in that 5-week time, it was a roller coaster ride of not knowing if we were going to get him or not, but we went to see him. We brought the kids, but the tribe was trying to step in, and they wanted to take and raise him. And so, obviously you're praying a lot about this the whole time and just kind of wanting God's will in it all, but you've let your heart be out there that, that this is your child. And so
And some neat things along the way. His foster care family took pictures of him every day for us and sent us emails.
Yep.
About progress and
how he was developing and all that, and we made at the start of that then, until we knew that he was going to be ours, until it was going to be official, that everybody in the family was going to fast something. And so we were fasting and praying for those 5 weeks for different things. And one of the things that, or a couple of things, Anna had cookie dough is big in our family. We like cookie dough a lot. And Anna at the time would have been, she's 11.
6.
She would have been 6 years old, and for her, she was going to fast cookie dough. She couldn't have any cookie dough until we knew what things were. And so the roller coaster ride of we're going to get him, we're not going to get him, we're going to get him, we're not going to get him, those times came and went. And then we finally got to the day, the first court date, and then that fell apart. And we're like, oh, it's not going to happen. And then it was just circumstances for Alicia, the birth mom, and she had something going on with her dad was in the hospital. And so that was why it was canceled. But we were all nervous about it. So then they rescheduled another court date, and
Seemed like an eternity.
It seemed like an eternity. But then we were going to Sioux Falls to the day of the court date, and we were going to be with Nicky while they were in court finalizing everything. And so we're at the Foster's house, just waiting and waiting and waiting for that phone call that things were done.
And you got a roadside.